Hello everyone. I'm not muted. Perfect. Hello everyone. I'm Kai. Welcome to my channel, Estelle of Imladris, for another episode of Seems Right, my show about costuming and storytelling. I am Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I return to you with another get ready with me / conversation about costuming for a long campaign. So, one of my absolute favorite things, basically, in anything ever. So, before we get all the way into it, let's start from the very top, of course. It is a dark time to be a marginalized person. If we're honest, it has been for much longer than just this year. It is important that we reach out to each other, to community, to build meaningful and lasting ties outside of establishments, governments, or faceless digital spaces. Part of why I started this channel was to offer free information and education for those who want it and remove systemic, personal, or financial barriers that would keep this from being accessible, because I believe the only way forward is together. Thank you for being here, but also I urge you to find just one person, more if you can, but just one, and connect with them. Be there for each other. Community is how we will be here long after this era of darkness passes, just as we have always been. But also, in the spirit of community, I believe it is also important that we must not forget the world we live in and those around us. We should fight for the freedom of those oppressed around the world, especially those facing genocide and violent oppression. I stand with the people in Sudan, the DRC, Palestine, the people in the United States who are currently living in fear, especially our immigrant community, and other oppressed peoples of the world, and I urge you not to forget them in this time of hardship. And do what you can, because one person can't save the world, but just one action from everyone could. You know, sometimes that's just reaching a hand out. Oh my goodness, there's all these lovely people in my chat already. I'm so excited. Well, I have a positive notification. That's annoying. Hold, please. What are you notifying me about? Google Meets? What? Nothing? You just want to be annoying? You do? Okay, well, it's fixed now. Sorry, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're enjoying my streams, please consider following, and if you're able to, subscribing. I'm an independent content creator, and all of your support helps me continue to tell stories and talk about what you can do to make your stories richer and more personal. And to that end, you'll notice that I have this lovely bar. I am dyslexic, so bear with me. I think it's down here. Yep, I'm currently just crowdsourcing basically some tips or whatever can be contributed to help make a permanent secondary camera station for my streams. As you will see today, I could really use one because using my phone is not a sustainable system, but it is today. What is the tech issue? Oh, music a little loud. Thanks, Lena. That's very fixable. It was very loud. I'm sorry, everyone. Did not mean to blow your ears out. Okay, anyways. So, today, finish my spiel. Thank you. Tech issues aside, apologies for the volume. My sometimes things change on my OBS and I forget. So yes, I'm raising money to hopefully have a standing secondary camera station at my desk so that I can do things like show you dice better, show you the makeup or the tools that I'm using, hopefully teach you some basic sewing tools, because I think everyone should know just a tiny bit of sewing so that you can fix your own clothes, sew a button back on, really like straightforward, simple stuff that is so useful in the day-to-day. Just basically make it so that I can show you more things, physical media, it doesn't matter what it is. And so every little bit helps. I'm already halfway to my goal. Thank you to the most generous people out there, especially to you, Flynn, who has been one of the major people already in there trying to help me get to this goal. So it means so much to me. But as always, like, give what you can. Oh, thank you, Puck. I will also try and bump myself up. Yeah, wow, I got turned way down. Hello, everyone. The tech is techin'. We're here. It's happening. You'll also notice that I've more light than normal. Because I've got my makeup mirror here. I am currently makeupless. Yeah, we'll get to that. And as I've been saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because this is the first time I get to say it without all of the other stuff. All of my videos are being slowly uploaded onto YouTube, and for the first time ever, I get to tell you on stream that I got the most amazing person from the YouTube creator support to fix my channel name, so everything, as always, is Estelle of Imladris, no dashes, no other weird stuff, and over time I will be uploading all of my streams up there, pretty much unedited. I will be hopefully adding chapter markers on all of them over time, but that is all now normal, and you can just find me there the way you would find me anywhere, which is at Estelle of Imladris. So excited. And let's see here, what else? The other big thing is that this week, I'm going to be celebrating the finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol over on TransplanarRPG, which is why we're doing this stream today, because I've wanted to do this the whole time, but I was like, I will save it for a fun moment, and this seems like a really good one. So, today on Seems Right, we're going to talk about what it's like and how to craft a character for a long campaign, whether that is one that you know how long it's going to be or one that you don't. And this is both for in-universe things or for things like costuming, your body, which is what I'm going to be doing a lot of. And while I talk about all of this, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process of how I do my makeup for Xainan for Arc 3. So we have 2 show us your dice, if I'm counting correctly. So today, another special thing is I did not turn off the accent workout, but all of them will be Xainan. That's just the life we're going to live. And then I have 2 dice, show us your dice. And because I do have my dice camera set up with my phone for today, I will be showing you only dice from my Xainan dice. Because today is a Xainan Esch day. So we're going to have about 10 minutes of cowboy drawl while I show you some dice and some dad stammering, which does tend to happen. So let's start with some dice. We're going to go over to the screen. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's just Xainan's face. Ugh. Come here, camera. Alright. And then I'll initiate everyone into what we're doing. Alright, first and foremost, here's the Nova dice for my family in better detail. I've shown these a while ago, but I think it is worth it to show them on a better camera. So, it is a D6 set, entirely full of stardust and gold. I gotta go this way. And because we do a lot of D6 systems, this is going to be the big dice that I use for most of this campaign. I just got them this arc. Yeah, welcome to the jump scare, Derek. I did not turn off the accent workout today, so we will just be hearing the sweet tones of Mr. Xainan Esch. And for the uninitiated, I will be explaining who Xainan is in a minute. But as you can tell, we have a lot of excellent transplant nerds in the chat today. So that's one. The second show us your dice is going to be the first set that I ever bought for this man. Get them all if I can. It's another 7-piece set from Dispel Dice. There we go. Yeah. And actually, just for fun, I'm going to turn on a light if I can get to it. Shit, hold on. Alright, you're in for a treat, because I have my UV lights available. Let's see if they can reach. A little. Not quite. So, one of the things I did a long time ago was I rigged my desk with UV lights! I feel like something just turned off. Ah, it did. And, the UV lights do make this glow a little bit more. So here's the D6. And then here's the D6 without the UV. I'm talking very far away from my microphone. So, there we go. Alright. There's your two. Show us your dice. Thank you very much for that. At all times, you may redeem those Corvid points to extend my drawing or get me to show you more dice from this beautiful, immense dice tray that I've been hoarding for going on 2 years. Alright, those are going to take forever to put away. So, let's talk about Mr. Xainan Esch, where he comes from, who he is, and why he is the subject of the stream today. Starting with closing that camera view. Alright. So, TransplanarRPG is an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy actual play series set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse, which is a very immense world. The Chaos Protocol is the second campaign of TransplanarRPG, and got a question here. What did it say? Yeah, we'll get there. So we are a cast of 3 core cast members playing the team called Strike Team Nova, and we have been traveling through the multiverse to do the will of fate. Now, this is where I start to caveat some things. If you are not caught up on TransplanarRPG, on the Chaos Protocol, there will be spoilers. I will avoid spoiling the most recent few episodes, but I will be talking about the ins and outs of Arc 3, and I just ask that you all behave in chat and don't spoil people who haven't had the chance to watch the stream from Saturday, since a lot of things have been happening. So, all of that is to say, that is the show. You can find us on Saturdays over on TransplanarRPG, and this Saturday is the finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. The way it works is, every arc we have jumped universes. And so the first arc, we were in the Wild Sea. The Wild Sea is a post-apocalyptic verdant sea where the entire world is covered in an immense forest, and you travel across it as if it were the ocean, the tops of the trees being the surface of the sea, and the deepest depths are being like being in the Marianas Trench. But it's all trees, it's all above ground. And so we use this system called the Wild Sea, which is published by MythWorks. And we had a real good time over on the Wild Sea on a ship called Storm Chaser, where you met the 4 main members of Strike Team Nova. There is Sing, the Chosen One, the child of fate, and her twin brother. Sing uses she, they pronouns. And then their twin brother, Seir, who uses he, they pronouns. The Bulwark, and the other child, kind of the also there of fate. And then we have a healer, who's more than just a healer, named Lumira, who uses she, her pronouns. And then, to wrap it all up, the seasoned veteran of trans, Mr. Xainan Esch, who is a purple cowboy man from a world that is long gone called Kesiki. He is the poster child of the Lone Survival Support Group. So, Xainan, Arc 1, Arc 2, and Arc 3. I think it's been 10 minutes, maybe. We'll see. So, now you get all of that pitch, all of that story about Transplanar, all done in Xainan's drawl, because that tickles me greatly. So, all of that setup is all to say, like, that's kind of the broad strokes, and then every arc we've gone to a different place. So the second arc, we were in the City of Heaven, which is also the world of Yalan, which is also the setting of Godkiller Last Hope, which is an incredible in-studio series done with our GM and the writer of Godkiller, Connie Chung, and our dramaturg, longtime cast member, and co-producer, brilliant performer, cast member of Second Stranger, C. Thomas, in the duet game God Killer, which is also set in Yaolan, which is where we are in Arc 2. And then Arc 3 is Inferno, which is a world of vampires and monsters and undeath, where we are playing... Oh, and for Arc 2, we're playing City of Mist. And then for Arc 3, we are playing Court of Blades, reskinned as Court of Vampires. So Court of Blades is a hack of Forged in the Dark, but it is a hack done for like Versailles, France, and courtly drama. And so we took that and made it vampires, and I think that that's excellent. So, more accent workout, you say? Oh, darn. Hate doing that. So, here are the 3 looks of official art of Xainan Esch from Arc 1, Arc 2, and Arc 3. The goal and the journey of it is, set a timer. I'm looking at a clock. I know how to read. So, you'll notice that my affect changes because in order to talk this slow, you gotta kind of work it around, because I can't talk faster than this, I don't think. The reason I am showing you all these things is because I want to explain the logic of the evolution of how you start a character from 0, and then knowing that you will be playing that character for years over the span of hopefully over 100 sessions. You know, that's always the dream, for a campaign to go on, and you get to live in that character and their journey. And this is why I like television as well. Similar idea that a character can grow and change, and you can follow them and how they grow and change. But of course, as you all know, if you've been watching my show, the whole evolution of a character is not just internal. It isn't just in the mechanics of the systems or the many, many shades of guns and arrows and all that such. It is always in the clothes. And with Xainan, I purposely built him with the intention of him growing and changing. So, Arc 1. This is the look from Trans. This is our art from Kryolan. Always gotta make sure. These artists, they really get it every time. They work so hard on these. So the Arc 1 art by Kryolan is what Xainan looks like at Trans. Cutting off his fancy boots. I want to do that. So I am always happy to describe Xainan as wearing a black flat-brimmed hat, which is consistent across all 3, obviously. But he wears layers of dusty, drapey, he wears a shawl and then a jacket and trousers with cowboy boots, with a gold cap toe I love so much. And then he's got usually belts, tool belts with probably bullet ammo pouches, things like that. And this particular version is how he has dressed for basically a decade at the beginning of the show. And the job of a trans agent is, of course, to go out and do the will of fate, whether that is move a box 3 feet or plant a seed or whatever. And all he's been doing all this time is just like walking into a plane, doing one thing, leaving. And at the very beginning of the show, an order comes out that we are no longer just doing that, because the actions that were being taken were in opposition to Oblivion, this other preceptual force. And now that the events of the Second Stranger have happened, which you should go watch that too, it's incredible, and get your tissues because you will get souped. After those events occur, Fate changes her mind, and the Mayday missions begin, which is to answer the calls the prayers, the signals being sent from all over the multiverse by people who want to be saved from oblivion, sort of. And so the new thing is to help oblivion change, to go and save worlds. That's at least how Xainan sees it. And so then they go to the Wild Sea on their first Mayday mission. And then a bunch of things happen. So many things happen on the Wild Sea. So they go and little bits change here and there, but for the most part, all of Nova looks about the same in the Wild Sea. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where the design process started and kind of how it is intended to grow and change with time. So the first part of it is we're going to talk about the markings. The most important thing when I was starting to design Xainan is I wanted him to look like he has already lived a long life, because he is the oldest member of Strike Team Nova, I believe. We all believe. You never know. And so he is a lattice work of scars, and we'll be doing some of those. I'm actually going to start doing some makeup actually while I'm talking about all this. So he's got these markings. Zoom it all the way in. Look how detailed this is. And this green glows because of where he is from, which we will sort of talk about today. And the green markings are meant to represent grief. These ones are named to wear your tears, because he is the lone survivor of Keseki. Alright, let's do some makeup while we talk about all this. So, for Xainan, that is the basic look. And for his clothing, I wore a black button-down shirt. No collar, no fold-down collar, just a stand collar. And this shawl that I love so much. And then, of course, you can't do it without the hat, which the hat has changed, which we'll talk about. This is the Arc 3 hat. I'm not going to unset it up right now, but all of these pieces, you'll notice, are things that can shift, change, be reshaped, be reused. And, yeah, so, enough looking at Xainan's face for the minute. I need a button. Let's talk about some makeup. So, here we go. Ooh, good question. Are Xainan's tears green or clear normally? Were they green in his home plane, or is it a design choice? So his tears are clear. He cries, normal person tears, which are more than just water, but you know what I mean. It is a cultural marking that we've seen some other people from Keseki through flashbacks and things like that. And culturally, they have markings that glow in the dark. So, first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to put on my foundation, which is just a drugstore Maybelline. It's great. Big fan of it. And the part of the rule for me about long-term costumes, so this is true for more than just Xainan. Oh, here's my sponge. Is that it has to be repeatable and sustainable as far as how much work and time goes into it. So, oh, we're back. So the big thing about the makeup is I've done shows where I've painted myself a whole other non-human skin color. And as fun as it would be to be purple every week, that's a lot of work. And for the effect, I would be losing other things, because I have also cried in full face color makeup. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I cry a lot in this show. And it would be a problem, because all of the makeup that you could use to cover your entire skin with a color tends to be water activated. You know what tears are adjacent to? Water. So, gotta do the very basic foundations. So this is gonna not only even out just the general tone of my skin, but it's gonna give the light something to hit, which is the important thing. But that's why I just use the simple stuff, because I think you don't need everything to understand that he's purple normally. But also I do have the lights, which do help, which are on right now. They don't need to be, and that's okay. See, normally when they're on, they're down here pointing up in my face with less light. Come on. So you see that purple? That's the UV light, and I have a bunch of them. So that also helps. But once this is on, and it's like gesso in your miniature or whatever, you know, putting a base layer on so the makeup will stick. And I will also show you some of the other things that I use for other eras, but today we're going to be doing Arc 3. Thank you so much for the subscription there, Total Gear. I really appreciate it. I hope you're staying safe with the weather. Alright. Foundation on. Simple. Nothing complicated. If you want to know more about why I use foundation the way I use it, you can go watch my first stream about makeup, in which I did Bob and Lure from the now finished mouse order game What About Bob's over on Happy Jack's RPG, where I talk about just the basics of makeup, which I'll be doing most of right now, just nice and quick. Next one, I'm going to give myself some eyebrows. So here's some just simple black eyeshadow that I use because I have real dark eyebrows. Oh, and here's my bin of brushes. Be using technically this is, I think, an eyeliner brush, bevel brush. Small angled. And I'm just gonna put some of that in my eyebrows real quick, so that you can see them a little better. And I do this before every show on Saturday. I do this pretty much before every show, this part. Here we go. Yeah, I live in my bevel brush. You always gotta blend things a little bit more. So, the design, knowing that this was gonna, last a while, I started with something that I knew could grow and change as much as he's gonna grow and change. So, the Arc 1 makeup was Scars and the glowing green. Next up is my contour. I use two different contours. They are both from Fenty. You should use whatever matches your skin that you can afford. Got a science fact? Oh, yes. Wow, we got some big thinking going on about UV lights. Alright. And I just do a little bit of shaping. Not a lot. Of course, under the bright light, you can see how cartoonish it looks normally. But the thing about this makeup is it's not for being up close and in person. It's for the camera. Because Xainan does not wear makeup. It's not a knock on makeup. That's too much fuss for him. Technically, I guess the green is a makeup. Even if it's just made of powdered mushroom or whatever. Alright, so that's the regular contour. And then I have more of the same for the underjaw contour. Design and moisturize, he better. If you got that many scars, you gotta know how to take care of them. Also, because he did, you know, have a lot of dust wasting, and dust is very drying. Oh, let's see here. The scars do have very specific meaning. We've actually seen in flashbacks and in the backstory episode, a time before he had these scars, we know that they are from the apocalypse of Kaseki. He has linear, scratchy looking scars across his face that are not creature scratches. They are, they look like cuts and scrapes. And then he has some kind of cracks and things like that over his chest and arms, pretty much everywhere we've seen on his body from the dust wasting. You are correct, Erica. Alright, so that's contour. Here's the basic. Looks pretty normal now, right? This is a little dark. Okay. It's been another 10 minutes. So yeah, contour, basic makeup pretty much done. The only thing I would do for my normal makeup now is eyeliner, which we'll get to. I'll show you when I do the eyeliner. We're going to do a little detour now over into Xainan specific makeup. Because basically the way that I started this was I started from a very, I say simple. It's not simple at all. He's a very complex looking character, but I wanted him to look like he had, lived a life. So dust wasting is something that was created to talk about the destruction of Kaseki. It went in a dust storm that seemed to never end. So his standard look from Trans has all of this stuff, and then you can see that for Arc 2, I changed it because his grief and his attachment to his grief changed. So, big spoilers for the end of Arc 1 if you have not seen it. I'm just going to raise my hand. When my hand comes down, I'll be done talking about spoilers. But at the end of Arc 1, Sing dies. I'm going to keep talking to fill the caption bar. But yeah, so to deal with that grief, Xainan, in respect for that, changed his markings. And so the second one is called Fresh Grief. The small markings underneath his eyes, and then the regular ones beneath that. And the entirety of Arc 2 involved a lot of Xainan coming to terms with how much grief he carries and what it means to love ghosts. And so through that, I thought he deserved to grow a little bit more. Also because he figured out how to grieve with other people. Because as I said before, he's the lone survivor, which is sad. So for Arc 3, when we were going to Inferno, I moved his markings further back from his eyes. Also, it's so funny because you can only kind of see it here, but between Arc 2 early and Arc 3, another very dramatic thing happened to Xainan's face. Here's your spoiler for Arc 2, hand up. So at the end of Arc 2, Xainan got hit in the head by a god with a hammer. That was the Hammer of Creation, and it put veins of creation into his head. So when he's not on Inferno, those black lines are molten golden creation. Anyways, hand down now. Yay, thank you for the gift sub. Oh, over to Derek. We love that. So we have also then the eye color change, because with the thing at the end of Arc 2, he his eye now matches that gold. And so when we went to Inferno, where everything looks a lot closer to our world here in the real place. When Xainan is human, like earth human colored. I thought maybe having molten gold cracks on his face would be a little obvious. But I thought it would be really cool if it was really delicious. I'm sorry, I just saw Trauma Oreo. And so the heterochromia that is for his normal eyes, to zoom back into this one where you can see both of them, his the dyslexia is coming back, his right eye, right? That's how that works? Oh gosh. The eye on the side with the orange cracks, this one. Yeah, that's the right side. Is orange now forever, with those cracks in it. And so on Inferno, it is amber colored, like just a person who has really, really golden eyes. Oh, you can't see the drawings. I'm sitting here zooming in on them and being a silly goose. Apologies. There we go. So, all zoomed in now. So sorry. Thank you, Blistarbean. I will... Lena, your avatar reference is not wanted here. Affectionate. The amber eye in his traditional look is bright orange. Glows orange now. But to cover the golden cracks, he now has all of these crack marks. And that's where I am going to show you my secret weapon for ongoing character stuff, which is, I'll show you the one for Arc 2. This is my mirrored reference sheet. You can see the one that I actually use in my bathroom right here, printed in a sheet protector. Yep. And it's got blue tape on the back so I can stick it to my mirror. And so this is the one from Arc 2. Just reference photos for myself. Of the first time I did the makeup. This was a test before Arc 2 started, I believe. And then with some of the art reference as well. And then I have this really traditional makeup chart that I use for him. And then for Arc 3, that's the not mirrored. There we go. For Arc 3, I did a pass on it. And then you can see that actually this is all digitally laid over it. But it's basically exactly what I do. It's just not a picture of it done, because I did... for the... Do I have a source for the base template? I think this came off of, like, Shutterstock or something like that. I've had it for a very long time, because I use it for theatrical makeup. This is where I originally started using it. So the there's a bunch of them on the internet, and they make them for all facial types, though you'll find that most of them are pretty Eurocentric, just in general. So, oh, my reference sheet decided to fall. That's fine. So you'll see that it's just the makeup, again, with the lines drawn over it for what I'm going to be doing for the makeup every week. And then again with the reference of the basic chart, his original artwork, doodle where I missed, because I draw these by hand, and then the Arc 3 artwork. Yeah. So, and this one is mirrored. You'll notice that there's also a not mirrored version, but again, as I've said multiple times, I am pretty dyslexic, so I cannot be trusted. And so I have to write it on them. It's also why I cannot be trusted with doing my makeup without a reference picture. Okay, so I'm going to start doing his makeup layer by layer the way I would do it on the day of the show. It will probably take the remainder of stream, so I'm going to have to start really booking it. So we're going to switch over so you can see... the camera again. So I brought all of the tools I use for him, so I'm going to show you some of them really quick. Are they all there? Almost. Those are all the colors I use for Xainan. All of these are hello TransplanarRPG, my beloved. Happy finale week. So these are all of the Mehron Paradice color body makeup palettes that I use for Xainan. Some of these serve multiple uses. Some of them are pretty much the only time I've ever actually used them is for Xainan. So the purple and the wild orchid are my regular Xainan makeup colors. The purple is his scars. It's about the same color as his skin because the scars are old and scars with time just start to like normalize back into your skin tone. Very often, at least. Sometimes they don't. And then this is the normal color for his markings. And I love it because, again, I'm going to cover this light up so you can see how bright this stuff glows. Look at that. I'm obsessed with this makeup. So that's why I actually have another green on top of the one I'm using for Arc 3 that is if I were to be doing this exact makeup with the bright green without a UV light, without a black light, because it actually doesn't look like very much unless you're putting a light on it. And then for the cracks, I have the base yellow, and then I have a glowing orange, which is another UV reactive regular orange. UV, regular, you know. Big fan. And then I also have a bright gold that actually is like a metallic gold. And now to the Arc 3 stuff. Because he's not purple, his hair is not purple, and that's what I use the wild orchid for. So I have brown. This is what I use anytime I do beard stuff. Basically, this is a dark brown. And then I use black for the cracks instead of all the gold and orange. And then I have olive instead of the glowing green. Yes, thank you, Erica. Correct. You should always swatch test all of your makeup before you put it on your body for long periods of time. Okay, so that's all of them. And you'll notice that I don't have a palette for Xainan's scars because I used a cheat, which is why I was like, oh yeah, I should explain all of that. So this is a very neutral lip pencil that I've been using this arc, and I think it works fabulously. I originally bought it to use it for Merrick, and just as a regular, it's literally the color of my lips. So if I am going to use a lip, it's like the exact color of my lips. I'm a big fan. But it also then makes it a really great scar color. And so all of Xainan's scars, I'm going to look at the chart before my eyes because I am, as I have said multiple times, very dyslexic. And I'm just going to start drawing them on. The thing about makeup is that it's largely all made the same way. There are some things that you probably shouldn't put on other places on your... Oh, God, my nose itches so bad. On your body, but there's plenty of them that it's just makeup. So like lip stuff might have a little bit of lasting stuff for the understanding that like your lips move a lot, they touch a lot of stuff, so it might be a little bit more color last. You want to see a cat? Oh my gosh, you have the perfect timing for that. A, because I'm about to switch over to doing something that I wasn't gonna be looking at the chat for a second, but B, yesterday was my oldest son's birthday. Watson I've had since he was an itty bitty baby, and he turned 15 yesterday. We celebrate approximate birthdays, and we just decided dates for both of them because we actually don't know either of their actual birthdays. But cat folder, there we go. I have a button for it. The oh my god, where'd that baby picture go? Where did I put it? I had it recently. So yesterday was Watson's 15th birthday, and then tomorrow, even though we got Rigby completely separately many years later, we adopted him from the Pasadena Humane Society here in Southern California. His previous owner, it's not normal for you able to be in contact with previous owners. I actually found Rigby because of his previous owner at the Pasadena Humane Society. It's a whole thing. I went on Pet Finder. It was a mistake, but it wasn't. I love Rigby so much. But his previous owner told me his approximate birthday, and it happened to be 2 days apart from Watson's. His birthday is tomorrow. So it is birthday week for my cats, and I think it's so cute. I love them very much, and I have a very, very baby picture of Watson that isn't the one I shared on my socials, that I love. So here he is. I will show you in the full screen camera. Look at how little he is. Look at his little face. And that's on Lena's legs. He's so tiny. He was like this big. And he's always been the gentlest of souls. So that's I think his sister menacing him, because it was a litter of 3 that we found in our fence. And you know what? No, I think that's Charlie. I think that's his brother. So it was 2 normal tabby cats and then this little soot ball, and I've loved him ever since. Yeah. So that's my cat picture for now. Thanks for that. And now I have to show us your dice? Oh my gosh. Okay. And then I'll go back to doing scars. Switch over to video. See, this is why I need a standing camera for this, because it doesn't work for me to not have it. Okay, so I'm going to show you those amazing revolver dice again. So I have a pair of these. I got them from Geeky Teas and Games. So these are, I see an accent workout, so I'm just gonna, this one's for you, Derek. These have, you can see the chambers of a revolver, and the number of bullets in each chamber is the dice face. And I have them in cowboy sepia and in trans silver and black. And they have a box of the very special dice of very custom, interesting looking D6s mostly over at my friendly local game store of Geeky Teas and Games, and I saw these and said, these have to come home with me, even though I usually do not buy revolver themed dice for Xainan. I just like them so much because they look like black and white movie title cards and bullets. Alright, so we're back to the accent workout. We'll be at this for probably until the break. So, I'm going to put on some scars, and we're going to talk about them. But the great thing about scars and why they make excellent long-term storytelling devices is that you can always get more. And if you're not getting more as an adventure, I feel like you're not trying hard enough. So, even though we've got our wonderful healer, Lumira, I need to pull up my chart the rest of the way. We're going to switch to that. I need to see what I'm doing. Alright, so I usually draw them in this order. I do actually do the slit on my eyebrow for this exact purpose. Just draw it on. Now I'll go straight back to the hairline. And it helps to know the story of the scars so that you kind of know the character of them, because it could be less linear. It could be more stippled on. It could be just about anything. And So I just go one by one, and one of the things that helps me ground myself in Xainan's story and his experience is to think about where these scars came from and how to portray them both as I'm drawing them on, but also within the story, and keep them kind of front of mind in that way. Oh, wow, that really missed. My microphone's in the way, hold on. I love that one. I love a lip scar. This is a hard one. I'm gonna move my mic again. Actually, there we go. And I'm going to show you the reference pictures while I do it, which I meant to do. I apologize. There we go. So now you see what I'm looking at as I'm drawing these on. Don't forget, the picture you're looking at is the picture I'm looking at, so it's mirrored, because I'm not trustworthy. Because I have put these on at least 50 times. I do have them somewhat memorized. And because I do always have the slash in my eyebrow, it does stop me from being too dyslexic about it. I'm sorry, are we talking mean things about pelicans? Because I love pelicans. Talking bad about birds in my chat right now? Excuse me. Alright, so here's a little secret from me to you. I always do this, and I've done it every arc since the beginning, and almost no one ever sees it except for me. And you should always do little things in your characters and your costumes just for you. Xainan always has a little scratch right here. 1, 2, 3. Right along that muscle. No, pelicans do not deserve it. They're sweet angels who are just trying to scoop fish out of the water where they're sleeping. Alright. So, that's that layer. Before we get to the break, I am going to put on the scar liquid. Listen, it was an ambitious pelican. You leave it alone. Alright. So, here's the secret sauce, the magic behind the magic. Rigid Collodion. I say it wrong often. Gotta switch cameras so that you can see what it is. So this one is Kryolan, not the paint company, the makeup company. Very similar, not the same. And it is a clear liquid. Mine is less clear because it is old, and I do need to get more between arcs pretty much every arc. And this bottle is the larger one that they sell. Most theatrical makeup companies do sell it, so it's gettable. But the thing you should always do, and actually I nabbed away from the camera too quickly. So when you buy Rigid Collodion scarring liquid, you should also buy, and this goes back to safety for your makeup, Collodion remover. Yeah. This is for after. You should buy this. If you are buying one, you should buy them both. And if it does not come with some, you should buy some. You should find some. It is important because it will stop you from hurting your skin. Smells terrible. Unless you like the smell of rubbing alcohol, which you shouldn't. So yeah, scarring liquid. Usually looks a little bit like it's got nail polish paintbrush in it, because it does. And now I'm going to go cover every scar I just drew on my face with Rigid Collodion. And what this does is that it actually lightly puckers your skin. And if you put another layer on it, it will pucker it further. And this is how they do scars pretty much anywhere you've ever seen a fake scar, unless it is really dimensional. And then that is done with liquid latex, most likely. Or silicone. Now we're talking about corvids, so you can continue. And if you're enjoying my content and you are so inclined, there's a bunch of really good Corvid bird-based emotes that you can play with, because crows are little guys. Not unlike our carrion crow in Arc 3, my dear friend Dante. Because Xainan deserves bird friends in every arc. So a little bit more about Xainan Esch while I do this, since I'm going to be mostly staring at my mirror, is that he is a farmer. He's a bird herder, a flock tender of raptors. So he loves birds. Raptors are very large birds. Yep. And you can see right now it's still pretty wet looking. This rigid Collodion. Move my microphone again, I apologize. Okay, you can come back now. Hello. Also, dinosaurs also probably had feathers. They're actually one of the inspirations for raptors. Because I just think it's neat that dinosaurs had feathers. And now for the tricky one, because I don't want to get it in my hair. There we go. All right. So, now all that has to dry. So I'm just going to talk to you for a second before we go on break. But this is my reminder to you that I do this every Saturday, and this is not me bragging or complaining. This is me saying that this is the sustainable version of all this makeup. You see all these pieces? The more important thing to me isn't the color of his skin, it's the scars. So here we are, with all of our beautiful scars. I don't put rigid Collodion on the one on my neck because I'm the only one who ever sees it. Doesn't matter what color it is. With all that, now we've got our scars on. We're gonna grow a beard next. We're gonna do our markings, and we're gonna finish off with all these many cracks. But yeah, you can see the puckering. As it sets, it becomes less shiny. I do have my giant mirror. Not my giant mirror, my giant fan. And as that dries, I'm going to say that it is time to take a break. I need a snack anyways. I'm going to pet some cats. And then I'll come back and we'll talk more about the sustainability of doing something elaborate and why I do it. And also because I love talking like this. Thank you so much for all of these. I will give you a list of all the things I use. I'm not going to give you the exact brand just because it's not an endorsement. I'd change brands. I will tell you I use a lot of Mehron, Paradice, and Kryolan. But yeah, of course, I can get that to y'all. But in the meantime, go pet your pets. Go get a snack, drink some water, stretch your legs. I'm going to stretch mine. And I'll see you all back here in about 10 minutes. See you then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Look it, the captions are working after break. Everything's fantastic. I had a delicious bowl of cereal. For the record, I ate honeycomb because I'm an adult and I can eat whatever I want. Yeah, we're gonna come back and I'm going to do more of Xainan Esch's makeup here on another episode of Seems Right. So the place where we left off is I just finished doing all of these lovely scars that if I were doing just like strangely freshly shaven Xainan, which I think is illegal because all cowboys should be scruffy. This would be it. And then I would do the eyes and the well, it wouldn't be it. This would be like arc 1 if Xainan had shaved and had not put on his markings yet. That would be it. But that's not where we're at. Yeah, no, illegal. I don't like it. I want him to have scars. We need the scars. So yeah, we're gonna go right back into it because we only have an hour left of stream, and I'm gonna get all the way through this. It's gonna happen. That's the wrong thing. Actually, no. We're gonna start there. So the next thing is my magical stipple brush. So we're gonna add in the beard mustache. There are 1,000 ways to do this. My preferred way of doing it is I've done it with everything from mascara to painting on individual hairs to like every way that you could possibly put a beard on a person. I have lace front beards. I've done all of these things. The question from chat about how many layers of rigid collodion I should put on. Honestly, you saw I put on like literally 1 layer. There's one spot over here on his cheek that I often will put 2 layers just because I know that that's a deeper scar. But I do 1 layer and it does okay. If it's a deeper scar, I might do a few like, oh, you know, I missed my lip. I can feel that I missed my lip. So this one I sometimes do in multiple layers because I know that one's pretty deep too. Thank you for that question and thank you for bumping it, Erica. I also was told over break that I missed a hydrate, so I'm doing it now. And a little note about the rigid collodion that you just saw me put on. You'll notice I skipped my actual lips. You should not put rigid collodion near like the inside of your nose, too close to your eyes. You'll notice this one is actually a little back from my eye. I'll switch cameras so you can really see it. Yeah, this one is a little bit back from the corner of my eye. And this does not actually go on my lips because it should not go in my mouth. All of this is to keep me safe. It also will burn if it gets in your eye. So this goes back to the like ongoing safety and care of this being something that I do every weekend. Is I make sure that I'm putting it in places that I'm not long-term doing any damage. There's so many horror stories out there in the world of people who have done pretty long-lasting damage to themselves because of effects makeup. And so one of the things I encourage you, going back to the swatch test thing as well, is that you check the makeup, you check that you're not allergic to it, that you test all of these things before you're wearing them for long periods of time. So like, I know how long I can wear rigid collodion. I also know that I know how long about how long it lasts before it starts to crack, because it will like eventually crack and peel off your skin. Is that I can probably wear it for about 12 hours and be fine, but you are stopping your pores from breathing. There are some things that you should be aware of when you do put this stuff on your skin. So especially when you get to things like latex, I don't think latex is a sustainable thing for stream for me, because I personally like could put a little bit on and it might be fine, but if I had to put a lot on every stream, I would just not do that. I'm very used to wearing rigid collodion. I've done a lot of cosplay and things with characters that do have scars because I do love them. Just love a character with a scar. I don't know, there's something about it. And so I know how long I can wear this, but I would feel it out. As you can see, I said earlier, I can feel that I don't have the lip scar. It feels a certain way. You can feel it. Yeah, I see you there, fellow companions. We're back with the drawl. So scar done. This has to go on first because you don't want it to be then underneath the surface of your scar. You want your scars to cut into it. So now when I'm putting it on, just like how a real scar is, that can interrupt the hair follicles and things like that. Xainan's beard is If he were to grow a full one, it might be a bit of a travesty because it's not whole anymore because he's got too many holes in his face. So let's talk about how we accomplish that. I have my two colors that I would use. The Wild Orchid for when we are purple, but the normal human color of dark brown. And then I have, for this, to make it quick, simple, and look good. One of my favorite tools in the whole wide world. This is called a stipple brush. Or sponge. And you'll notice that it is quite porous looking. Where's the camera? This way. Thank you, camera. And you will see what that looks like when it goes on my face and into the makeup. The other thing I use, this is a clear makeup palette. Bought cheaply off of the internet. And I put that right here on the back of my hand. And the last thing you need is water. Clean water. Straight out of the sink. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to scoot my microphone a little this way. There we go. And I'm going to take the... Oh, how do you clean the stipple brush? So it's not... it's a very open brush in reality. So what I do is I will take the makeup and brush cleaner and squeeze it all through. It's a sponge, right? So squeeze it all through the sponge, rinse it quite a bit until the water runs clear, and then let it dry. So we're just going to put a little bit of water. Oh, wait. Just a tiny bit of water, squeeze a bunch of it out. Put it in the palette. And then, you'll notice it's not quite gone into the sponge yet. That's what this comes in and does. There we go. And then you just lightly touch it. Don't drag it. Don't push very hard. Come on. There we go. Wouldn't be a Xainan stream if I didn't sit here struggle and fight with something. Alright. You just slowly start building it in. This is your reminder that beards do not stop until your neck if you are shaven regularly. If you do grow a beard, your beard should not stop at your front of your jaw. It should stop back here at the base of your neck. And you can see it's not very pronounced yet. And then I'll do some on the other side. I always try and work symmetrically. And then I know his chin, lower lip, upper lip hair situation. If you would like to find inspiration, I recommend looking at people's real faces because facial hair grows in peculiarly. If I grew facial hair of my own, I would have a very splotchy beard because everyone from my entire family grows in splotchy beards. The question was, can you tell the story behind the scar on Xainan's neck? It is, all of these are, every single one of these has a story, right? All of the stories. And the one on the neck goes with some of the ones on his face. And I'll just say he earned it. go. And the other thing you can do when you're building a long-term character is you don't have to decide all of them, but you might have a vague idea. So like Merrick has one on his cheek, and I have a pretty good idea of the situation, but exactly the moment that he got it, I'm not sure. I could tell you why he has it. I will tell you that there's a reason why he doesn't have any scars around his eyes all the way. Because something stopped them from getting too close to his eyes. What the hell? It's because I'm funny. More water. Okay. If you get too much wet on the sponge, it starts to get weird looking. You get weird splotches and stuff, so don't do that. And you'll notice I'm skipping the scars entirely. It is something that eventually will probably be revealed, which is why I'm being cagey about it. Ooh, see, this is what I mean by being weird. That's real dark. That's why I have these. For the inevitability of me fucking it up. Alright. It's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it, all things considered. And depending on what's going on, where they're at, sometimes I make him a little bit cleaner shaven with tighter lines. Sometimes it's real messy and dark. One of the ways that I can tell a story with it is if it's really long, I might draw in some actual individual hairs with a paintbrush. Now I'm going to turn off the light so you can actually see it. See? We're all bearded now. Now, oh, look at that gay crow. I love that. So, this normally I would then rinse in the sink. I will do that after stream. And now this is done. As a reminder, because you fill this with water, do not seal it right away. Let it dry somewhere safe and flat. Otherwise, it could mold. Okay, now's when I move to the eyes. And I actually saw someone in chat earlier talking a little bit about doing this for fun. But for his heterochromia, I do use 2 different color eyeshadows. So I've got, for this arc, I have this very beautiful, can't even pronounce what the name of this makeup company is, palette that is just greens and golds and a little bit of brown. And so I use that, one for the amber eye and one for the green eye. And I'm obsessed with bevel brushes, so here's another bevel brush. And I do gold on this side, half lid to show his slitted eye as well. So I only do this half of my eyelid on that side, and the same on the opposite with green. Because even though aesthetics are based around largely symmetry, I love asymmetry. Always have. For his regular look, in his Kasekian skin tone, I do have glow and eyeshadow for the same purpose. And if you hear a small screaming in the background, that is my cat. Random lore question. Do the people from the world strike teams go to remember them after they leave, or is it like they were never there? I think we've established that they should remember us. Do we know? No idea. I know nothing anymore. Ooh. Alright. So, we got all that. I'm going to do some eyeliner real quick. Back to my cheap Wet n Wild Breakup proof. If only that worked. Hold, please. So, again, as I said in my makeup stream, I do not put this in my waterline. Makeup can be very dirty. And I don't want an eye infection. You shouldn't either. I did look into why people are still recommending people put makeup in their waterline. And A, you will rinse it away. Never forget that. B, they're largely recommending hypoallergenic eye pencils, which, if you do that, do you, but I wouldn't. Alright, eyeliner. Done. You notice we're getting into, like, almost done, but we're not quite there yet. I'm going to quickly do the green markings. Get my olive. Open that up. I use the same fat brush that I've used the entire show, that I think was originally for eyeshadow. And I do just a little on the brush. And here we go. Look at the markings. I should make Nightbot tell people that. You should always clean your makeup tools. So these markings just get at the edge of the eye. Go down that way. And being clear about how to describe it is helpful for actual play, as it is a medium of talking. But also, it helps with things like alt text. And I know how to describe all 3 different versions of his green markings. And I freehand these because he would freehand his. I have done others where I have rulers and things for such kind of stuff, but Xainan doesn't have time for that. A little bit more makeup. Here's one. And as I've said before, these are pretty well researched to make sure I'm not borrowing from another culture that is not mine to use. And they are different, every arc, not because I want to change it every arc, but because he has grown and changed as a person, which goes back to the subject of this stream, which is giving him things to change with. Hold on one second. I see you. Alright, there's all those markings. The question from Blistar being, I asked in a previous stream about cosplay and Xainan, and you said yes, if that has changed since valid. Nope, has not changed. Please do that. Is there a particular version of him you would like to see attempted by another person, or would recommend as a first-time cosplaying him? Honestly, they're all pretty complex. I will say Arc 3 is human skin tone, so if you are comfortable with Xainan's human skin tone, I'm a big fan of you can cosplay whatever you want so long as you do it respectfully, with very limited exceptions. That is not a universal truth. But I would say anyone should be pretty happy to cosplay him in any of his colors. The easiest one to do would just be a lot of shopping, which is his Arc 3 look. The rest of them, I would say Arc 2 is pretty culturally specific, but you can wear a kimono no matter who you are and where you are from. But he does have a lot of other gack in that one. Speaking of, I actually brought some fun gack from Arc 2. I miss them. My hat tassels. That went right up inside of his hat. They're on some removable sticky tape, and I put them up inside the hat. And I marked it with thread. That's what that white mark is. So if I ever need to put them back, I know where they go. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. The answer is yeah, but Lena's asking more good questions. Besides the hat, what do you think is the most iconic part of Xainan's Arc 1 costume? I think it's probably the facial markings. The rest of it's just black and gold. Oh, maybe the boots. Alright, it has been, I just looked at the clock, over 10 minutes. So, I'm going back to my voice for a little while, as much as I love drawing on. Okay, so we've got green markings. We've got eye makeup. We've got basic normal person makeup. Now on to hard mode. Here we go. Just cleaning some of the makeup off my brush. Okay, so on to the thing that I hate every time, but I do it constantly. It's time for some set spray. So I'm going to mute myself and step away so that I can set spray myself, because the next thing involves painting over work that I've already done. So hold please. Hello everyone, I'm back. I've been set. So set spray is a way of making sure your makeup is stabilized so that if you touch it, it doesn't all come off on your hands. It also keeps it off of your clothes a little bit better. Let's see here. What do we got? I don't know other ways to get to the Discord other than there might be a link on the Transplanar website, but I do highly recommend it. It's a really good time. Oh, thank you, Erica. You're the best. Yes, I do talk a lot faster than Xainan. And I will hydrate. Thank you. Okay, so now it's time to get into the choice that I made, that when I made it, I went, am I going to do this every week? And I've decided the answer is yes, partly just because I really like how it looks. But also, more importantly, it is something that when I do it, it really helps me, like, focus in. So part of the reason I do a lot of this, and you'll see how much time it takes to do this before every stream, is that I really find it grounding to think about Xainan like this. And while I'm doing this, I'm very often listening to his character playlists that are also available on the Transplanner Discord server for arcs 1 through 3. And I might be rewatching parts of a previous episode. And the kind of the thought process that I have is like, if this ever stopped being fun, there's no expectation on me to continue to do this. This is something that I do for myself and because I love it. But this was the longest conversation I had with myself when I decided to give him cracks in his face and if I was going to do that every week and how. And I do have a stencil, to be very clear. I don't use it. I bought a stencil to just as a quick beginner version of it. But the more times I've done it, the easier it has gotten. So I don't really use the stencil. I may never, because this is actually all I need, are these reference pictures. So I have my fine liner. Look at how fine that little fine liner pen brush is. It's so little. And I have a bunch of these because I do a lot of detail makeup. And then I have my black Mehron Paradice. And my water that could probably use a refresh, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get water. You don't really want to cross-contaminate your colors too much because this is basically watercolor. But it's diluted enough. And it's black. So for next arc, this takes 3 colors, and I do it a little bit differently, but you'll have to stay tuned and see me do another one of these in the future. So this is when I look at my reference picture and go, where do I start? I usually start in the same place. Well, welcome to the Transplanner Discord server, Blisterbean. Can't wait to see you over there. Have fun exploring that. Hi, Jen. So, just gonna wet my palette a little bit. I'm gonna bring my water over. Even though it makes me so nervous to put that on my keyboard drawer. And we're just gonna start going because I'm on a clock. And usually I do this on a clock anyways because I have a call time for stream so that C can put us in our little boxes. So, gonna wet this and just start going for it. I usually start with the crack up here from the actual impact site. And so when I designed this, I looked at all kinds of forms of like hammer impacts and just started kind of designing it. And then I did the makeup on myself a few times, including in the episode I think that it happened in. And it's just kind of evolved into what it is now. But I plan on doing this for as long as I can do it sustainably for every stream. Something to note is that you'll notice that I'm saying about the stream and not just the game. If this were a home game, like I do some pretty wild makeup things that are never seen on the internet just because I like doing this kind of stuff. And if I have the time, I might do it. But very often, my advocacy for a long campaign is to do something that isn't a lot of extra work unless it really tickles you. So this process really, I like it a lot. I like it more when I have fresh side undercut, but you know, it's fine. And so you'll notice I just pick spots and I just start doing it until it's done, basically. Yes, I did do ice crystals on my face for a non-video story once. That was really fun. Using a little bit of spirit gum to stick them to my face, playing an ice boy. Not a nice boy. And so doing things like this with time for me is very relaxing because I went to grad school, and when I was in grad school I painted a lot. It turns out I am my favorite canvas. So I love doing interesting makeup effects that maybe people's skin shouldn't do, like ice and very big graphic cracks like this. And then you'll notice that because he already has delightful imperfections, the cracks travel into, ooh, oh, I got it in time, into his scars that are already there. Because scars are complex like that. And actually, if you do have like a new scar next to an old scar, they do sometimes interact. I do have some very interesting like real scars. None of them are like big traumatic scars, but like I did get a content warning for animal violence, not violence towards an animal, but a violent animal. All creatures involved in this are fine, but I did get bit by a dog when I was young, and that scar looks wild. And I have some other just like scars around it, and it has kind of morphed and changed color a few times. Not my best mark of that, but that's okay. There we go, that's better. So this is my like kind of love letter to me and to Xainan and to TransplanarRPG for taking time to think about the work that I am doing. And I love doing it. And if I stopped loving doing it, I would probably make myself stop. That's kind of a consistent thing across a lot of my work that I do these days. This isn't to say that there's not value in doing things that you only do because you have to. But as far as art goes, that's my recommendation. So yeah, I do actually just like freehand these every week. Just find it very rewarding. I don't know. I will look back at the chat in a second. See, y'all are talking up a storm over there. So there's the forehead one that sometimes is never seen because it's under a hat. Ha 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 ha. Correct. So we're almost to the mid-break arc. Terrifying. And you'll notice that the markings, as I showed at the end of Arc 2, go over his grief markings. That is on purpose. Yeah, so it's a lot of this. Yeah, it is pretty complex what I'm doing, but it just takes time more than anything else. Do have to let that one dry a little bit, so I'll sit here and read chat for a minute. We have 10 minutes left in stream. I'm gonna get this done, everybody. I'm actually pretty close. I know it doesn't look like it, but I know how long it takes to do this part. Oh, I forgot to do my inner eye eyeliner. It's okay, we'll get there. And the good thing about this is that it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's cracks. I don't love how dark that got, but that's okay. There we go. That line doesn't go far enough. And this is genuinely how, like, a lot of artists work as far as, like, makeup goes. They will often have, if it's something this complicated, they might make a stencil or make it something that can be applied using, like, a temporary tattoo paper. I thought about all that. I'm very good at making temporary tattoos, but applying one to my face that's this big sounded really complicated and even worse for my skin than just doing this. Because temporary tattoo paper, like the rigid collodion, makes it so your skin doesn't breathe. Because it is just like a thin piece of kind of rubbery plastic over your skin. I love just layering all these little pieces on. I'm gonna go as fast as I can, so I'm sorry if I'm pretty quiet. I hope that you can see all the detail as I am doing it. And all of this was designed looking at cracked desert, cracked concrete. I looked at a lot of stuff to design exactly what this looks like. But I also have done a lot of specifically crack designs for makeup because I really like the idea of like something that is said to be broken, literally to be cracked. And it's not broken, right? It's just changed. You should go watch my stream about dirty laundry if you ever want to hear about why I love broken, cracked, imperfect things. Because we are all imperfect. And through that, we are all wonderful. I love imperfections. And sometimes I'm really persnickety about them being the same, and sometimes they're all... sometimes I'm pretty quick and dirty like this. Because again, I always remind myself, like, consistency and continuity are fun, and I think this is more continuity than is even what is necessary. But the most important thing is that I'm happy and that it is done enough that I'm happy about what it looks like on stream. So that's my like top priority is like, am I happy with it? Do I like how it looks? It could be pretty different from stream to stream actually. And sometimes I look at them and go, wow, I don't know what I was doing that day, but either it's better, it's worse, it's different. And that's okay. I love this one because it goes all the way down here and then I make it wiggle into his ear. Look at that. All the way into the ear. Big fan of that one. And then right at the end, do this one. I did not like how this one looked on Saturday, but it's okay. Because I always get to do it again. I do just have this one memorized. All right, and that's pretty much all of it, I think. Do I modify my reference sheet if you freehand a part of the cracks differently? If I really like it, I might take new reference pictures and print a new reference sheet, but I'll tell you what, I haven't, but sometimes I do remember, and the quirk, the difference from that session remains, which is kind of fun. Okay, real quick. Finish my eyeliner. If it gets too close to the eye, I do use eyeliner. Just to like safely get it closer to my eye, because that makeup is not made to go into your eye. And there you have it. Xainan's cracks from Arc 3, all painted on. So finishing touches before we get into the end of our stream. I'm gonna spray. Terrible. God. Fucking hate it. And that's again to keep it from sweating off, from melting, from any of the terrible things that could happen to it. I often touch my face during stream, so it stops it from coming off of my hands. It makes it so that even, like, I put my hat on over it. Hat, where are you? Here we are. Hello, everyone. Howdy. We are now fully in the makeup with the hat on. Just the little pieces here and now. And then the only thing that's missing, and I'm not going to do it right now because it's not super important for this moment, is for the hair. Where'd it go? I'll switch cameras to show you this. I use Mehron hair white for moments like now, when the bleach that I do to my hair to give myself Xainan's white streak in the front of his hair is grown out. I will color it in with this. Big fan. Looks great. And I use just a simple roller brush, mascara brush, to put it in, just a little bit at a time. Nope, I'm not doing anything for it with it tonight. I'm actually gonna go take it off right after stream because I'm leaving my house, and as much as I love Xainan, we don't need to inflict him on the greater Los Angeles area. And then the other little things here and there of things that I do to kind of change and grow Xainan is little items. So I have his ring from Arc 2 that when you're wearing it as an archer, you wear it like this to pull the bowstring. But for Arc 3, I decided he kept it and is wearing it this way, which is how I wear it pretty much every day, because I also fall in love with this ring. And then, hold on one sec. Drop some. Oh. Then I have all of his necklaces. So not all of these are the correct ones. But I thought this was a fun way to show his many, many necklaces that he does have. Thank you for the hydrate. I will show you them in camera. These are all my necklaces. I did not buy a single one for this. I just like jewelry. Many of these were gifts or bought for costumes. Many of them I wear often just for myself. Sometimes I buy them thinking of particular characters, so I bought this one actually because of Merrick quite a while ago. It's a bronze reproduction of a wolf's claw. There we go. So this is the inspiration for that. Is I've always been this person. I collect these kinds of necklaces, and so I just wear a bunch of them for this arc. Yeah, and each of these represent characters from Xainan's life that he loves. So there's all that. So that is my tour de force of Mr. Xainan Esch, of his makeup, and a little bit about how I've grown him and changed him. I hope any of that was helpful and informative for how you might do the same for your characters. I hope you had a good time enjoying my sad cowboy man as much as I did. Let's see here. There we go. Here he is, all done. I am going to take some photos just to like have them, because I haven't been taking very good photos of me in this makeup lately. I've been taking a lot of like, I've already sweat through it and it's the end of the session and I've already cried photos, so I'm going to take some quick, nice ones for myself before the end of stream anyways. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me on this adventure to celebrate the finale of Arc 3, the second to last time you'll be seeing this makeup look because things are about to change. See, I love Virgin Collodion. I like feeling the scars, so I find it very comfy. But again, to each their own. And my nice, sweet reminder, and I don't mean this in a mean way, if I wear Xainan's stuff outside, it would be wearing his costume out, because I am the creator of Xainan. If you are making a costume for your character in a TTRPG, you are costuming, because cosplaying has to be in reaction to a piece of media that you are enjoying. So, put my... Oh, and the other thing is I do put, like a beach spray in my hair for Xainan's hair. To give it that, like, very, like, vampire, urban fantasy, kind of texture to it. But I'm not gonna do that right now, because my hair's nice and clean. Where did I put my hair clip? So yeah, there he is, Xainan Esch, in all of his messy glory. So yeah, let's see here. What's going on for the rest of the week? So many things. Besides the finale of Arc 3, I'm going to open my notes because I have those things really quickly. I should just look at my own calendar that I do share. So yeah, you can catch me tomorrow over on Wounded Warrior Project with the penultimate episode of The Fourth Age, which is a One Ring actual play charity stream that benefits the Wounded Warrior Project, where we are telling a story after the end of the War of the Ring in Middle-earth, where I play Erland of Mythland, who is a shipwright of the Grey Havens, and I love him so much. We are in the realm of Rune, which is past the edge of hi On. I'm just wrapping up, but thank you. It'll just be makeup reference pics. I'm just wearing my Transplanar shirt, which if you haven't, you should go check out the Transplanar merch store. It's awesome. So yeah, you can find me over on the Fourth Age tomorrow over on Wounded Warrior Project at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time with our incredible cast for our penultimate episode. On Wednesday, a reminder first and foremost that the nominations for the Crit Awards close on Wednesday, and you should definitely nominate incredible TTRPG performers, channels, and creators in the space. It is a publicly sourced nomination, so anyone can nominate anybody. And if you like this stream and the content that I'm talking about here in designing characters for long form, I would be honored for a nomination for their category of makeup and costume. But nominate anybody that you think is wonderful. Genuinely, I will not be offended if you do not nominate me. And those close on Wednesday, so I'm gonna copy the link. And as a reminder, also Transplanar is not accepting nominations because we have won so many awards in the Crit Awards in the past. We want to share the love to the rest of the community, so we will not be accepting as a channel nominations, but you can still nominate me, Val, Sam, for like player awards and things like that. I know Connie, I think, is also planning on turning down like GM nominations for the same reason, because they've won the GM indie category so many times. But it would not go amiss to nominate one of my castmates for best indie performer. And then also on Wednesday, you can come back to this channel where we're going to be finishing unpacking finally, because I keep on getting sidetracked because I really like this game. So we'll be finishing unpacking on Wednesday. And then what is not unpacking, because I only anticipated taking about half the stream at most to finish unpacking, I will then be tying it into another game about keeping stuff. And the game that I thought was really funny, because the more I was like, why do these things go together? But they just do to me, is I'm going to be talking about the TTRPG, the solo journaling game, 1000-Year-Old Vampire, that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And it is a game about creating memories and putting, objects and resources in people and keeping them and or losing them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that with the time that is left on Wednesday, because I think that that's fun. On Thursday, you can find the 3rd episode of Lori's House. Hopefully, we did have some like editing technical issues, so from last week. So hopefully this week we get the 3rd episode of Lori's House. If not, please go check it out. Anyways, Lori's House is a all new actual play podcast from Tender Vicious Studios, the award-winning people behind Gudya. And a bunch of other fun projects, honestly. It is about memory, community, and the selfless act of self-exploration. There are 2 episodes out now. I have the great honor of playing the Architect, which is the GM role for that game, in which we explore self-actualization and self-reflection and magical realism and community. And it's such a wonderful story, and I just love it so much. So yeah, you can go catch up now, or if you've already listened to it, maybe listen to it again, because you never know, maybe you'll catch something new. And then, because memory's tricky like that. And then on Saturday, of course, please come join us for the extremely climactic finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. You've still got a couple days to catch up if you're not up already, or you can always go read our recap doc or all of our wonderful other resources available over on TransplanarRPG.com. Transplanar. Oh my gosh. TransplanarRPG.com. Okay, yeah, I know websites. And you can go check out any of that. You can also go check out the VOD for the show over on Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. And with that, I think that's everything for now. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for loving my sad dad, messy cowboy man. And I will see you all very soon. Have a good one. Oh, we're going to raid somebody. I'm going to find somebody. It's going to happen.